Hello friends, welcome to Squared Plans. I'm Stephanie and today we're going to be doing a overview of my 2022 lineup. Pretty excited about this, and I'll be showing you all the prep work that goes into my printables as well as setting up these planners individually for 2022. So if that sounds good, let's jump in. Okay, so I've got all 5 of the planners I'll be setting up today here on the side. Some still need to be cut down and some I want to change out the discs and or covers with other planners. So I'm starting out with the budget planner that I just picked up over the Black Friday holiday, and that is from the Happy Planner. It's cute as it is, but I kind of feel like I want to save the metal gold discs I have here on my Faith setup, and thought that the discs would be even cuter with the Faith cover using the ones from the budget planner. So I'm going to go ahead and take them off of the budget and then replace the budget planner discs here in a minute. I had a rainbow set of discs from a previous planner and had a few extra purple and blue colored discs, and thought that the blue would be a better match than the teal is, but maybe I'll add in the teal anyway and swap out one of the pinks for more of a purple tone. We'll see. That's the plan right now, and I'm just trying to figure out what disc combination I want to have here with this cover and get that set up. So this cover comes from a planner I got on clearance from Hobby Lobby. It was an 18-month planner from last year, so it went through the end of 2020 into 2021. I never used it. It was a Faith planner setup with the standard soap divisions on the weeklies. I didn't really care for that, but I loved the dividers and the cover itself, and since it was on clearance, I thought it was a good bet. It actually came not with the gold discs, but with the blue discs you see there in the corner on the next planner I'll be talking about. So it was a nice combination of things that I wanted, just not the planner itself. I am moving over all of the setup I had already kind of pre-planned there for my bullet journal Faith planner setup for 2022. Yes, I'm doing a bullet journal. I'm pretty scared and excited at the same time to do it. So it's just got a bunch of dot grid pages in there, but that was the previous planner, as you can see there on the back with the insert that I'm about to remove. Yeah, so I just had it all set up. I put, I think, 5 or 6 standard dot grid pages in between a bunch of different dividers from that planner and have set that up. So it's pretty much ready to go. I didn't need to do any cutting since I had all of that dot grid paper in my stash. Now that I've stolen the discs from the budget planner, I needed to replace the discs there, and I'm going to use, I think, the yellow discs for this planner itself. I pulled both the black and the yellow, but I think the yellow will just be more fun since this planner is very neutral, especially on the inside. And I'm not going to be really decorating this planner too much. It is sort of a bit more robust than what I've been using in the past. My standard budget setup has been pretty simplified, just a monthly layout with bills to pay and then income versus the expenses from the bill pay basically, and an expense tracker if needed. So next year, we did our taxes this year and my husband was like, you need to get your stuff separated. So I am going to be more diligent for next year and kind of separate all my business expenses and all that good stuff. So in order to do that, I thought it would be nice to have a budget planner this year and just, have it all separated, have a place for both our household monthly items that we need to take care of, but also a place for all of my work related, business related items. I think that this planner will work okay for that. That's the plan. I haven't really structured it out too far ahead yet, but that's what I plan to use this planner for. So it's going to have both business and home expenses situated with it. So I like the yellow discs, they're nice and bright and fun. And we have 2 planners set up and ready to go. So next I have this goals happy journal notes thing that I picked up actually from Ross. It came with the gold discs, the plastic gold discs that you see there. I was thinking I might change them out, but I'm running low on disc sets. I haven't really bought a lot of happy planners in years past, so I don't have a lot of extra discs hanging around like I used to. And as you can see, yeah, I picked it up at Ross. It was only $5. I saw it there and it came with these goal setting sheets, which I'm thinking about using for 2022 as well, and I'll talk about that later when I do my goals videos. But for now, I really just wanted the cover and the discs mainly just so that I could do a setup for my printables. So the plan is for that to be my health planner, and then I had those blue discs that came with that one planner I mentioned before, the faith planner, and this cover that I got from another Happy Notes from a clearance buy I got maybe in the spring, and just kind of picked it up, and it was literally like under $5, I'm sure. So I have that one, and then I had my older Planner Babe one that came with those purple metal discs as well. So I should be all set as far as covers and discs, and that was going to be my social media planner. So now I am popping in some dividers for my health. I had them already made. They were on some gold cardstock I think I made them last year when I was making dividers for 2021 and didn't end up needing them. So I went ahead and popped those guys in, and now I'm looking through my stash of just extra dividers that I've saved over the years, and I had some that I had pre-organized and labeled in case I needed them, and I'm just pulling those out right now. Quickly flipping through the rest of my dividers, trying to figure out what I'm going to use for my social media planner, and I had some extra dividers from that 18th month planner, the Faith Planner. So I'm going to use the 6 extra dividers from that one since I use the other 12 in my Faith Planner. And now I'm just trying to collect from, again, my stash and make 12 months out of this in order, cascading order. So I'm trying to get, 3 of the top, 3 of the top middle, and 3 of the bottom middle, and then 3 of the bottom tabbed dividers. So I have enough to fill out the whole year. And I just kind of selected the ones that I felt like sort of matched together as far as the themes. This is a big hodgepodge of dividers that came from old planners or were part of Happy Notes I picked up in the past or recently even, and had these dividers just kind of hanging around in my stash that I wasn't using right away. And instead of making dividers this year, I made dividers for my planners last year. I decided to do some repurposing here and just reuse and recycle the ones I have there in my stash. I mainly did that because, one, I don't move the dividers over into my catch-all, so I don't really look at the dividers constantly like I would if I had a happy planner where the month was, permanently stuck to the back. So again, I only see them at a glance. I only use them to really navigate through the planner to find the month that I need, and that's all the time I really spend with those dividers. So I don't need anything that's super fancy or cute because it's going to be very rarely used. Some of these are double-sided, so they have, a pattern or a design on both sides. Some of them are from the planners that I didn't use in the past or from old planners, so they have the month on the back side. I'll probably cover them eventually. It just depends on what I decide to do. So, for example, this year I had my Faith planner and used dividers from an older planner that I didn't use. And at first I covered them with cardstock because I wanted to be able to reuse the dividers year after year. What I found is that I probably am not going to reuse the dividers. And so it was just smarter for me to stick the monthly right to the back of the divider after the month was over and kind of combine them. So that was the way to cover, if you will, the backing. So I'll probably just leave them as is for the year, and then as I go through, I will decide whether I want to stick the month directly to the back or do something different. So I got a good collection of dividers already moved over, and now I am starting with the trimming of the planner for my daily, which is going to be, again, the horizontal from my shop. This is the process that I normally go through to print my printables. I'm not going to show you me cutting all of these inserts down, but I will show you a few just in case you've never done this before and you just want to know how the process works. Highly recommend using a guillotine style cutter like I have here, which can cut multiple sheets at once. The ones with the single blade that you kind of like roll over don't tend to cut as many sheets at a time, so the process just takes longer and can be a little bit more time consuming. So if you are into printing your own printables and you think you're going to want to do this in the future, definitely suggest getting one of these type of cutters. I will link one or two down in the description below, along with some other products that I might be using here that you may be interested in. That way you guys can check it out and see if it's a good fit for you. Basically, I printed these classic size pages on a letter size sheet, and all of my printables come with crop marks. And this just makes it a little bit easier to cut things down, like you can see me doing here. The best way I found is just to take the paper and continuously turn it counterclockwise 90 degrees as you cut, and that way you always have a lead line as you get started. And then the very last one, you won't have any crop marks for you to see, but there's usually a guide or a measurement at the top, and you can use that on your cutter to finish out the last cut. This is the best way to have crop marks on the sheet so that they don't show. I know sometimes people prefer to see the crop marks, but for a cleaner look, I include them with a little bit of a margin outside of the viewing space, so that way you know you're always going to have a clean cut. So you just go through this process here and cut them down. As far as printing, I will walk you through the steps in my printable. I have printing instructions. Highly recommend that you use Acrobat Reader for printing, then follow the instructions and you guys shouldn't have any problems printing. And if you do, you can always reach out to me via Etsy, and I'll be happy to help if you have any troubleshooting needs for your print. It's pretty straightforward, I think, and once you do it once, you kind of know how to do it, and it's, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, so we are now to the point where I've cut them all down, and the next step in the setup process is to punch. I have a Happy Planner Classic Punch that is very temperamental. I try to limit my use of it just because it always catches on things and it never gives a clean cut, especially if there's anything like stickers or washi I'm trying to cut through on top of the paper. That said, for this process, it does okay. It does get a little sticky at times, but for the most part, it punches the papers pretty clean. I only do 2 pages at a time because the paper I use is an HP Premium 32 paper, which is 32 pound. It's a little bit thicker than normal copier paper. It's a really great paper for printing on, by the way. That will also be linked in the description if you are looking for some paper options. That's the one I use. It's cheap, but good quality. Some of the papers out there that are better quality are just way too expensive or outside of what I would say is my budget for a planner. So this paper is a really great option for getting a bulk of paper at once for, I think it's like $15 a ream or something like that, or it was when I bought it. So that's not bad. Anyway, so I've been punching through the paper just 2 at a time. 3 is too thick and will definitely get caught in my punch. But if you have, a bigger punch or one that can handle more, that will speed up this process a bit. And I'm just about done here. It doesn't take too long, it's just a little bit tedious. And now I'm going to go ahead and drop in the sheets. So this is my daily planner setup, like I mentioned, and I will be doing horizontal. This is the combined planner for my shop. So each of the planners that are in the combined sets have a year at a glance style front with a perpetual calendar, and then they have a monthly layout with the weekly layouts. So it's a pretty standard setup for most planners that you would buy at the store. A complete file, and you can print it straight through start to finish and get everything all in order and ready to go. So it makes it easy and pretty convenient. Now I am getting ready to print out some labels for the dividers that are going to go into this planner. I'm using my faux memo printer to print out the labels. I had already set up the file last year, so I'm just going to use that same exact file. But basically, it's just ready to go, and I'm printing it off my phone. It's set up for all the months of the year, and I have it going top and bottom kind of flipped so that when I bend it over the top of the divider tab, it will be double-sided and I don't have to cut them individually. I did include gray cut lines, but the faux memo printer didn't pick them up, so we're just going to have to try to eyeball it so that I get a somewhat even tab. It's a little bit tricky on this guy because some of the words are long and some are short, so finding that perfect halfway point is a little bit challenging. And so this time I'm just going to cut them individually with scissors and then drop them on. Since I learned last year that the dividers are really just more of a tool than they are something that I feel is a decorative need for my planner, I'm just going to just throw these on there and not really think too hard about it. It should work fine. They'll all be nice and easy to read, and like I said, it's a front and back situation, so I don't have to do a lot of extra cutting. If you're interested in this file for your own planner needs, just let me know in the comments below. If I get enough interest, I'll definitely post it up onto my Google Drive so you guys can download it for free. I don't want to just throw it up there and you guys, nobody needs it, so it's all good, but I find it pretty convenient to have it there ready to go in case I need to label these dividers. So it was nice I didn't have a new file this year. This one was just all ready to go. And I'll just quickly finish these guys off, and then we'll stick these in the planner. As you can see, a lot of them have the month from the previous planner that they came out of on the back. So again, I'm just going to leave them as is, and then if I really feel the need later down the road, maybe I will cover them with either the monthly layout or cardstock or something else. And okay, we're going to start dropping these guys in. And this is just a mix of those Faith Planner dividers and then also some random ones I had from Happy Notes. On the back of my months, I have again included a habit tracker instead of just the plain monthly notes. So I just customized the file and printed it all out at once so that it was nice and clean and all set for my daily planner. And okay, so we are here with the final look through of all of the setups that I have for 2022. This first one here is the Faith Planner on the new rainbow discs with that cover from the Happy Planner I mentioned before. All of the monthly dividers are from that same planner, and like I said, they have half of the month on the back of them, so we'll figure out what we want to do there once the year goes through. So I have this dot grid paper that I had from an older Happy Notes as well, just some stock paper, and that is what I'll be using for my bullet journal setup this year. So I just have a few pages in each month, and we'll see if I need more. I have some extra. If not, then should be good to go. That will be my faith planner, and I'm pretty excited. I love the colors here, so it should be very energizing for bullet journaling and getting creative. Next, we have the daily planner that I just finished setting up, and I have it on those beautiful metal blue discs that I got from that faith planner I just showed you before. This cover was a Happy Notes I got on clearance. And again, this one's going to be my daily planner. So I have the front part, which is standard, except for I changed out my perpetual calendar for this new style that I hope to bring into my shop. And it's just a different way to plan a year at a glance. I really struggled last year using the perpetual calendar in this year, using it in the last half of the year because I had a ton of appointments and things, and I don't have a monthly calendar space because I use that for memory keeping. So I think this will work better for me. I'll be able to write down dates below, maybe use some highlighted dots to highlight the days above. So I'm looking forward to that structure. We'll see if that works better for me. And then again, we have the dividers and into the monthly layout. So this is the standard monthly that comes with the planner. And I really like just the clean, classic look. And then again, a nice, clean, neutral, horizontal layout for the year. So not too much different as far as my daily setup. I was tinkering with the idea of doing a quadrant layout or maybe even the Techa Weeks layout from my shop. Both were contenders this year, but I did samples back in November. If you just saw my November flip through, you'll see how they turned out and why I decided to stick with my horizontal layout this year. And again, the habit tracker there on the back, and that's at the back of every month, and I'll use that to track my habits. So that is my daily planner, and now we're moving into my health planner, which I'm using again the cover from that goals journaling setup that I got from Ross with the same discs that came with that planner. The printable inside is actually not the health layout that I've been using for years, the last 2 years. I'll show you in a bit what I decided on this year, but it has the standard year at a glance and the perpetual, which I'm thinking I'm going to track my daily steps here on my perpetual calendar for 2022. I really need to refocus on moving more, and so I think this will be a great place for me to get a daily glance at how many steps I'm taking and kind of just see a month at a time, and just I think it'll be great. So I have that all set up, and then those gold dividers that I had pre-made in last year's divider creation setup. And then I have my printable with the aligned monthly. So I replaced the standard monthly with outlines with aligned. I will again be using this to journal my chronic symptoms, my medical conditions. And I will be using a wellness layout this year. So I decided on switching it up just slightly by using the wellness layout for my shop. I added in this hydration tracker because I need this for my sanity. I need to have that on the sheet. So I added that myself as like a custom item. I can customize planners in my shop. So if that's something you're interested in, you just need to reach out to me on Etsy and let me know what you want, and I will quote you for whatever specific things that you want to add to your planner to make it your own. I customized it with that, as well as the habit tracker I customized and replaced the monthly notes with this meds and supplements habit tracker instead. It's basically the habit tracker I have set up in my shop, just changed the names of where it says habits and changed it to say meds and supplements. So I think this is going to work a little better for me for tracking my meds this year. I have been using kind of a symbol key on my monthly, and I think this will just be easier and cleaner to kind of see what I've been taking every day. Next, we have my social media planner, and I'm using the Planner Babe cover and discs from, I think this was the 2020 planner from the Happy Planner. And I haven't 100% committed to my social media planner this year. I like to have a decorated planner for my social media so I don't have to bother decorating if I don't want to. I did not find anything I liked from the Happy Planner, so I decided to use a printable from my shop and just kind of customize it for the very first month and see how I liked it. So I have my perpetual calendar here at the front to track my subscribers and followers on Instagram and YouTube. I have those generic dividers that I mentioned I had kind of pre-made. And that's how it would look with the cardstock on the back. And then we get into the actual layout. So I have just 1 month in here for January just to test it out. Is a standard monthly layout without lines, and that works good for me. And then as far as the dashboard layout is concerned, I again customized this guy very specific to my needs for social media. In past years or two, I've been putting in my stats at the bottom there and my video tracking here on the right. I've been putting a sticker on there and then, customizing the headers and stats on the left at the bottom. So I just decided to add those two things on there permanently and change out the headers at the top so that they meet my needs, which is usually tasks and then my routines that I do every week for social media. And then I have that nice dot grid area on my dashboard, so I have a nice empty space for whatever I want there in the middle, and that should do it. Just did 1 month to see how I like it. It's really plain, so I feel like I'm going to need to decorate it somehow. So we'll just see how the first month goes, and if Happy Planner comes out with anything else that's more seasonal decorated that I might lean into. But really, I was just at a loss, so I didn't want to commit a full year to that planner without trying it out first. And finally, we have the budget set up, and again, I have replaced the discs there with the yellow discs from my stash, and the rest is all that budget planner. So that's the only thing that is different from the standard off-the-shelf planner. And this is from the Happy Planner, like I said. The perpetual calendar, well, I guess this is the year-at-a-glance calendar, comes with a nice little area there on the side for adding in maybe annual expenses or something that comes up, once a year or twice a year. That'd be a good place to keep track of those things. And then we have the perpetual calendar here, which I will be using again to track my Etsy sales every day. So I just kind of do a daily look at my sales, and then I write down the quantity here on the perpetual calendar just to have a running list of that information. So then we have the currently page for the budget tracker, which is very budget focused. I haven't really dove into this too much, so I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to use all of the pages just yet. But the monthly layout is very clean. So again, I like it, but it's going to need stickers or some color, I think. I will keep it probably more functional for sure, but yeah, just it'll need something. And then the weeklies, well, first it has like a monthly overview page, which will be probably more geared towards my home stuff. And then it has a week on each page for expenses. And this is where I'm thinking I will keep track of business expenses and things like that more on the weeklies. So like the home will be in the monthly overview and then business stuff on the weeklies. And then I remember that it had this additional page. It's just kind of a nice, simple page that I think I could use in a different application other than in my budget planner. So I'm looking at it again. It's just dot grid on one side, and then it kind of has some divisions over here for checklists or whatever else. And it's really nice and clean and neutral. So I'm debating whether I want to take these pages out and use them maybe as like a monthly task list or something, maybe in my daily. I'm going to pull this out and just look at it and see if I think I can get away with that. Again, it's a really nice page. I think it would work perfectly for like a monthly task list. So I've got it out here and I'm going to set to the side and see if all the months have the same kind of thing. So I'm going to go into February. And then I realized, oh, they don't all have a dot grid on the back. Some of them have a 5th week, and that's why that page is in there. So it's not going to work. Wah wah. I was kind of excited about the option of, kind of taking this as an insert into maybe my daily planner. Boo on that. So I was like, oh, that would have been really cool. There are a few pages that may work, so we'll just see. Maybe I'll pull out a couple of them as we go. I'm not sure exactly yet how I'm going to use them here in this planner. That said, that is my budget planner for 2022. And my final lineup, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye!